you? It is Friday. It's Friday, and here we are for 101 ways to make money in real estate. I'm going to put some lotion on while I wait for somebody to help me out here and join me and chat with me today. All right, let me get over here to our stuff. Okay, there we are. 101 ways to make money in real estate. And this week we are going to write 11 and chapter 12. Chapter 11 is keep going. And chapter 12 is going to be yes, you can. Now, if you've been following this little journey we've got going on here this year, as you know, I've jumped into a much larger realtor Facebook group, and I asked the question, if the book was 101 ways to make money in real estate, what would you name one of the chapters? And I was inundated with 101 chapter titles, and that's what we're doing this year. We're going to go through the whole list, and I'm just going to, on the fly, make up something that is going to go with the title to the chapter. Okay, chapter 11, keep going. Now, obviously, that speaks volumes, doesn't it? I did ask the question in the group, how many times have you wanted to quit this business, right? I think some people, as soon as their feet hit the ground in the morning, they wish they could quit this business. And then some people probably get all excited. When you're first starting out, you're probably a little bit more excited than you are several years down the road, right? Christy says, usually every time the phone rings with another issue to resolve, then I'm over it and I move on to the next phone ring. And that pretty much says it in a nutshell, doesn't it? You constantly feel like you're putting out fires in this business. But I can tell you from experience, right? I can tell you from experience that eventually you are going to anticipate, right? You're going to anticipate putting out the fires in this business. And therefore, when that happens, you can start preventing some of the fires from happening in this business. All right. That just boils down to getting some experience, but you've got to go through what you got to go through to learn what you got to learn, don't you? Okay. So I know it's frustrating and sometimes you feel like you want to quit, but quitting, is not going to get your ultimate goal, right? Now, if you're thinking about quitting this business, I want you to really, really think about what it is that you wanted when you started this business. Why did you start this business to begin with, right? Did you think it was going to be all roses? Did you plan for the ups and downs in this business? Because I'm telling you, I've been doing this slick for 22 years. 22 years. And I know there's a lot of long-term agents in this group, and I think they'll probably testify for you the same, right? You're going to feel like quitting all the time. All the time you're going to feel like quitting. Some people do, some people don't. Some people just keep going, through everything, through everything, because it's just not an option to quit, okay? You have to plan the long game to stay in this business, right? And if you're not planning a long game, you're going to get to the end of your journey and you're going to wonder what it was all about, right? You can look back, fun times, good times, right? But I want you to think about planning your entire journey. And that way, when you want to quit, you're going to think about the long-term gains, right? The long-term gains. Okay. All right. Now, number 12, let's roll on to number 12, which is yes, you can. Okay. Yes, you can. Okay. When was the last time you made the decision to do something that was hard? I asked this question in the group, and Jennifer says, every day. Okay. Every day you have to make the decision that you can do hard things. Okay. You can figure out a funnel. You can figure out a Facebook ad manager. You can figure out how to create groups. You can figure out how to attract an audience. You can figure out how to nurture a pipeline for 20 years. Okay. You can do it, right? You can do it. I'll tell you a little story. You know, when the market started to crash, you know, it seems like 100 years now when you look back, but it really wasn't. All right. But I can tell you that when I first saw the market crashing and I decided, you know what, we're going to need to get into the REO business. And back in the day, you had to start doing REOs for, you know, roughly expect to do them for a year or two before you get your first REO listing. All right. So I knew that going in, but I did not know, you know, this is my first BPO for an institution, right? I've never done anything like this before, but I just jumped in face first, you know, I just jumped in and I signed up and I bought a $47 course, how to do BPOs, how to do REOs. And, you know, I just jumped in and I learned it, right? Because I knew that I was going to need that in the next decade. Okay. These are some things that you have to think about in advance and say, yes, I can. Okay. It would have been so easy for me to quit doing REOs. You know, we did REO work for 12 years. Okay. But let me tell you, when I got that first BPO order, I was so excited. I knew that the beginning of something new. And, you know, I didn't know any better. So I picked up this BPO order that probably everybody in the market was rejecting because it was in Altoona, Florida, which was probably about 50 or 60 miles from me. It was almost a 2-hour drive. I should not have even taken that BPO, but I did. I was so excited to get my first order, signing up with, you know, literally 70 or 80 companies. I finally got my first BPO order. And my son and I got in the car and we drove out there, and it's a mobile home on acreage in the middle of nowhere. Okay. I mean, literally, you know, when we got out of our car to walk around the exterior of the property and take some photos, we were honestly afraid that somebody might shoot at us. You know, we were, you know. So we took those pictures as quick as we could and we got out of there, man. And let me tell you what, they say a BPO is a broker's price opinion and they want your opinion on the value, but that isn't really the case. Let me promise you that. It took me 3 days to get that BPO approved. They kept wanting this change, that change, you know, everything. You know, they don't really want your opinion. They want a certain number on those and they'll tweak it until they get it. Trust me. Okay. So that does happen. Yes. But anyway, it was so hard. It was so hard. For a lousy $50, let me tell you what, I wanted to quit that moment. But had I quit on that first BPO order that I had to do back in 2007, 2008, right when the market was crashing, had I not forged through that first BPO order, the whole trajectory of my business would have been different. The whole trajectory. Like I said, we did BPOs and REOs for 12 years. It grew to be an entire division of our brokerage where I had staff doing data entry, staff chasing reimbursements, handling accounts payable, agents out there running around taking photos. It scaled. It scaled. And I made well over 6 figures, if not 7 figures, in the course of 12 years, right? But think about that. Think about that. If you run into, the hardest thing you ever have to do in this business, are you going to let it stop you? Okay? Are you going to let it stop you? That's what you have to decide for yourself, right? If you know that for your business, you really should be running Facebook ads because you know that that's the way you're going to reach a cold audience and meet new people and put your brand on eyes that have never seen you before. But if you stop short of getting business manager set up, verified, humming like a bird, you know that that's never going to transpire for you. Okay. So you've got to decide that you're going to put a stake in the ground and learn something hard, right? Otherwise, this business will just eat you up. Okay. You can do it. There's so much help in the industry these days. It's so easy with Facebook groups, with the coaching industry that has exploded over the last decade. I can promise you, I certainly did not have these opportunities when I started my business 22 years ago. I was alone. I didn't even really have a broker. We got our sales licenses. We formed our corporation of record. We hired our broker of record. And trust me, he only took his override. He took his override. He didn't us anything, right? I had to figure that out for myself. I had to jump on the phone with Legal Hotline and explain to them, well, I'm not the broker, but I'm the owner, right? So spill the beans and tell talk to me like a broker. Because a couple of times, they're like, why are you calling? Your broker should be dealing with this, Nope. I'm the decision maker. Okay. I was the decision maker. I took responsibility. I took accountability for my business. I learned from the ground up, how to build a brokerage business all by myself. Because I'm telling you, we didn't have the coaching opportunities. We didn't have Facebook. We didn't have collaboration groups. We didn't have people beyond our immediate physical circle, right? So if I wanted education, I had to go sit in a class in our board of realtors to get educated, So you can do hard things. Yes, you can. Okay. All right. Let me know if there's any questions or comments. Let me know if you've got something to add. You've got an opportunity where you had to say, yes, you can, and you got it done. I'd love to hear your success story. I love to hear your success stories. Absolutely. Okay. All right. So I'm going to let you go. I got a busy day today. So I'm going to let you roll on out and make it happen. Okay? Talk to you later. Bye-bye.